Welcome to Be the Light with Coach Zakia Robinson. Let's listen to Kingdom Wealth with Jonathan Kelly. Let's tune in because this is a show you don't want to miss. Welcome everybody to Be the Light. I'm so excited today because you know what? We are going to be talking about kingdom wealth. And kingdom wealth is one of them things where a lot of people, they don't have money. You know, we have things that have went up, groceries went up, rent went up, bills are going up, but unfortunately our paychecks have not gone up, some people. Right. And then we have some people who are entrepreneurs who have been able to be very successful. And that is where we bring Mr. Jonathan Kelly on. He is a man of God. He is a husband. He is a father. And most importantly, well, not most importantly, but he is an entrepreneur who has found some very helpful tips. All right. And Jonathan is going to talk about 6 tips in order to help you to be successful in kingdom wealth. And I wanted to open up in scripture where it talks about Ezekiel 28:4, and it reads, "With thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and has gotten gold and silver into thy treasures." And what I wanted to point out in that is don't allow your riches to overtake you, because a lot of times we allow money and finances and stuff to just overtake us, and that's where it becomes evil. So it's the knowledge that you need to have behind it for when you have wealth. You need to know, okay, what do I do with this? How do I spend it? Do I invest it? You know, God tells us to leave an inheritance for our children and for our children's children. So Jonathan, let us know about some tips that you found helpful.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. The first thing people have to understand is that, and they have to really grasp, is they don't understand money. So you have to learn money first, right?
Right.
Like money, the way I look at it is, for one, it might sound weird, but I tell people this all the time and they look at me like I'm crazy, but money isn't real, right?
Right.
It's paper.
Correct.
With a number on it.
Right.
And the value that we believe it to be is what we trust it to be, but it's not actually worth anything. If I gave you some gold or silver, that's worth something.
Right.
That's value. If I give you $100, that's only worth $100 because it says $100, right?
Right.
So the first thing you have to realize is, okay, cash, money, fiat currency is not real. It's not backed by anything, but there's a system in place. And that system is the game that we play, right? I look at it like Monopoly. People look at Monopoly like it's a game. No. Monopoly is real. We're playing Monopoly every day in life, whether we're buying real estate, renting a place, whether we're, going to pay this $200 pass, go, whatever. Like, guess what? Monopoly is for real. Right. They just call it Monopoly, but in real life, that's what the banks do. Notice the banks never lose money.
No, they don't.
Banks get bailed out. What happens in Monopoly? They just print more money. You can write on the blank sheet of paper, oh, the bank never runs out of money, right? So I think when people understand, first of all, money isn't real. I need to learn, how do I operate in this system that was created by men to prosper and be successful? Then you can start doing some things differently and moving differently. Okay.
So one of the things is, like, when you were talking about Monopoly, like, how many of us really love that game, Monopoly? Monopoly. And it's like you're buying property, and then to be able, after you buy all the properties, you're able to start making some money off of the property. And it seems like it's just one of those things where the government have created this system for some people. Unfortunately, if we don't spend our money right, we're going to be left always renting. What is the benefits to owning a home?
So benefits to owning a home the first thing is you don't have to worry about somebody selling it if you're living in it, right? Like if you're renting a house and I say, okay, we have a year lease, 12-month lease. And after the 12 months, I'm like, I think I want to sell it. You got to go, but you don't want to go.
Wow.
But I'm the seller. I own it.
Wow.
And you just rent it. Guess what? You got to find somewhere else because I want to sell it. See, it happen all the time.
Wow.
So if you own the house, nobody can tell you to leave, right?
Correct.
Now, the second benefit is that home can appreciate in value and you can build equity.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of the stuff that I do is we buy houses that are distressed properties, like they're foreclosures, short sales, abandoned properties. Nobody lived in them for 2 years. I want those. Right. I don't want the ones that are real nice, because the ones that are real nice, you got to pay a premium. Right. You're going to have to pay top of the market. I want to pay a discounted price. I want to say, ooh, that house looks terrible, 85,000, but I know it can sell for 300.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the number one thing, it builds equity and it appreciates over time. One thing about millionaires is they put their money in real estate because they know it's going to continue to go up. And while it appreciates, I can turn around and rent it to somebody that's going to pay my mortgage.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so it's, those are like the biggest things about real estate. Like there's tax advantages too of owning homes longer than, trying to flip it. You'll pay more in taxes, but over time you'll pay less in taxes if you rent it and you hold it longer. So some people's portfolio is, I have 10 houses and I just hold them, buy them and hold them because they know that that's consistent income. That's passive income, which is probably the number one thing most people should think about is multiple streams of income and passive income, right? People work and they trade time for money, but that's a concept that will only keep you poor.
Right. And a lot of people now are starting to do Airbnbs.
Right.
They're basically flipping the instead of just having someone just pay a monthly rent, especially during football season and basketball season. We're in a town where a lot of people is traveling to watch these games.
Yeah.
So you are a person who owns Airbnbs. Like, what is the benefit of someone having an Airbnb versus renting? What would you say about that? Great
question. So Airbnb is a game changer. I mean, it really is. Like, I'll give you an example of the first one we did in 2018, right? It was a house that I bought in 2010 that we had a tenant in, and the tenant, I don't know, it was some college student. They trashed it. They got on drugs. They ended up going to rehab. They left. And me and my wife was like, well, we need to do something. Let's try Airbnb. At the time, 4 or 5 years ago, nobody was doing it. Right. We didn't know.
I recently just heard about that probably last year.
Yeah. So it was one of those things where nobody was thinking about it or doing it. So we didn't know where to go. We were like, let's just start. So I was getting $900 a month rent from the tenant. Okay. Right. My mortgage was $900. Okay. I was like, I'm not making nothing. I might as well try it. Right. So first month we put it on there, it was like $2,800.
Nice.
First month.
300%
profit.
You didn't even double. You went a little over doubling. Yeah, you tripled.
So after that, it kept being consistent. Then we ran into football season and it was like $3,500. Wow. $4,000. I'm like, we need to get another one. So in my mind, I was like, this is a game changer, really. Yeah. And then from there, we just started getting more, and then more people started to reach out to us because they were like, oh, y'all are killing it. And they didn't know anybody but us doing it. Right. So from there, people were like, can you manage ours? So it went from us having our own to now managing other people's for 20%. Wow. So now, nice look income, at so think about the concept of instead of owning everything and controlling nothing, you own nothing but control other things. So I can have 10, I might not buy 10 Airbnb properties, but I can go and manage 10 of them at 20%. Wow. And just get a piece of it. You don't want to be greedy, right? So if you have somebody that's out of town. I'm glad you said that. Don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. Yeah. People mess up and lose money because they're greedy instead of getting a little bit here and there and just taking what you can get and working with that and then compounding it over time. Wow. But I think that Airbnb thing is a game changer. Like literally football season, session, graduation. I mean, it's getting to the point where I'm like, in 1 month, like October, it was the first month where I've seen it was over a $10,000 a month in for one property. That's crazy. We're almost at $13,000 for one property. Wow. I still you can pay off the whole mortgage sooner than what you planned to have. Because the mortgage on that house is $1,300 a month or $1,400, something like that. But guess what? It's literally almost at $13,000 that we get to keep. It actually made, cause the Airbnb takes their cut. Right. Gross income on it was like 17 or 18. Nice. But Airbnb is like, oh no, we're charging you this fee. We're taking that. Everybody wants their money. But no, it really is a game changer. I tell everybody, get a good Airbnb, nice area that can sleep at least 6 to 8. You're going to make money. Okay. Hands down. All right. So what's the second tip that you would like to bring to the table for us? Well, educate yourself. You have to read, right? Okay. People don't like to read no more. But I had to learn to read. Yeah. People don't want to read because it takes too long to learn, but reading is where all of the real knowledge is. Wow. Yeah. Once I started reading books and I started going down the path of educating myself, unlearning and relearning what I needed to know, I was like, man, I could have been doing this 15 years ago, 10 years ago, but I didn't know what I didn't know. Right. And that's where I think most people are. They don't know where to start. They don't know what they don't know. They don't know where to find it, but the information is there. And it's abundant. It's unlimited information out there. You just got to go find it. You got to be proactive.
Yeah, it's the same with the word. If you don't read the word, you're not going to know what's in it. You know,
Right.
and the Bible mentions that, you know, he stores up the wealth for the righteous. You know, he takes the wealth from the wicked and turns it in for the righteous. And so if we don't read, we won't have the information that's needed for us to be successful in what God is calling us to do.
Right.
And a lot of times people end up failing in a lot of different areas. What fell into my spirit is because they're working outside of the will of God. Sometimes you have to find what is it that you're interested in, what is it that God have already installed in you, and use those giftings, and then your money will begin to come in. What is your thought on that?
No, I totally agree. Like you have to do what your purpose is, right? You can't go and do something that you just want to do, but you're actually operating outside of your gift. Like you said,
Right.
Like some people are, how can I say, really good bakers, right? But they work for the state and they only bake on their free time because they're too afraid to take risks and jump out there on faith and say, I'm going to start my own business because I know nobody can make this red velvet cake better than me.
Right.
Right?
It is. It's like,
see what I'm saying?
like what my pastor said, you're going out on a 5-foot limb, but it's only 4 feet out that it is. It's not that long. So you're
Right.
going 5 feet on a 4-foot limb is what he say. And that's exactly what it is. It's like you're stepping out, but it ain't no more room there. Either, you know, you got to really walk out on that faith. And trust that God's going to be there to catch you.
It's just comfort. So if you get out of your comfort zone, now you can start to grow.
Yeah.
If you're in your box and you're in your little circle where you're like, I don't want it to be hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to go through any hardships or hard times. Like you have to go through something to get that breakthrough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like if everything is always good, how you ever going to grow? Because you're never going to get tested. You got to be battle tested. You got to go through stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. And that's exactly what I'm going through in the moment. Stepping out in faith, like, God, this is my passion.
Yeah.
And God, I know this is what you're calling me to. I'm going to just step out on faith.
Good.
And I hope that encourages someone out there that has some things that they've been wanting to work on. It's like, God have installed in you these giftings for a reason. Use them. Don't allow them to go dormant.
Right.
Because it's just getting rusted and it ain't helping nobody. Right. So what's another tip?
Surround yourself with people who are already where you're trying to go. Right. So I'll give you an example. When I wanted to really learn about investing and real estate and stuff like that, I had to get around people that was already doing it at a high level. Right. I can't stay around the same people that just talk about it every day.
Right.
That just say, man, I'm broke. I got to go to work today. I got to do this. I had to get around people that was talking business and making deals and wasn't going to work every day. Right. Because they realized, I don't know when they realized it, but they realized that the way to wealth and actual freedom is through using money and letting it work for you.
I like
not
that.
letting money use you.
Yeah.
Right. Like the average person, 98% of people, they basically give up themselves in return for a check, right? You know, what I do now, I don't get a salary. I don't get a consistent income. But what I do is I get money from so many different places that it don't matter.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I think sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to realize what I'm making isn't enough.
No. It's just enough to get by.
It's just enough.
And that's not enough.
And that's not how God intended us to live here. It's just enough to get by or paycheck to paycheck. I think a lot of people is working paycheck to paycheck now, and then it's like you come home, you're tired, you know, you got kids. A lot of people these days have kids, bed, school, and you wake up, it's the same routine.
Oh, it's a cycle.
Yeah, and then you're left with no time for yourself. You're left with no time on working on your business plan, and then it's like, okay, God, what do I need to do? He's like, okay, I need you to step out. I need you to utilize the giftings that I've already given you. And you're like, well, God, if I do that, you know, how is this going to look? Like, what if it doesn't work? And it's a lot of times we just really need to not focus on what it's you know, not looking like, and focus on, okay, well, God's given us plenty of people, you know, in the Bible that had to walk by faith.
Oh, yeah.
Israelites. They walked away from Egypt having everything, walking out into the wilderness now, and they don't have nothing, and they're complaining. Like, are we going to be one of those people who's going to complain about it, or are we going to be one of those people who's going to be a person who's just going to do the work? You know, like Moses. He went out there and he did what God has called him to do. And I just think that when we had that mindset, then things can begin to change. But it starts in your mind.
You got to start. Yeah. It doesn't start with a job. It doesn't start with more money. You can have all the money in the world and then go broke because of your mindset.
If you have a
poor mentality, if you have a poor mentality, I don't care how much money you have. You won't have it for long because you don't know what to do with it. Yeah. You don't appreciate it. You don't value it. So you just throw it away and use it, endlessly, like just throw it away. Right. But I think if you have the other tip I wanted to say is if you have a plan, right, you got to have an action plan, vision board, goals, be intentional with what you want, speak what you want, write it down and then visualize it. When you do all of these things and they align with your purpose and your gifts, I mean, the sky's the limit. Yeah. Things are going to start to happen where you just like, whoa, I didn't know it would be this quick, or I didn't know that was going to happen. People start to come into your life that you didn't know before.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Overnight success.
Yeah. People are starting to think, things will start to happen where like, that's how you knew. I mean, that's how I knew that I was walking in my gift and my calling, because I was doing stuff for free and was just doing it to help people.
Right.
And then once I started to really align myself with what I needed to do, people started paying me to do it. And then it was just like, oh man, I could have, I'm glad I went this route instead of being comfortable over here.
Right.
Like everybody else.
Right. Got to come out of your comfort zone.
Right.
And what's the last tip you would like to share with us?
I would say, be thankful and grateful for the little things, because if you can learn to appreciate the little things, then all the other stuff that you want, will start overflowing and start coming into your life where you were thankful and also helping other people too. Because, when you help other people, it's going to come back to you. It's going to really come back. So if you're grateful, you're thankful for the little things, you help people, and your goal is to serve, I think everything will start coming back, tenfold. That's just how it works.
Everything you just said is in the kingdom.
That's
thankful.
I'm telling you, every day, be thankful, be grateful, serve others, and guess what? You never have to worry about nothing, because that's how the universe works. That's how God is. You give, people gonna give it right back.
Amen. Just like your tithing. I don't know if everybody's tithing, but I know I found in tithing itself that I was not just getting blessed financially, but I'll get ready to go pay my electric bill, and it's like, oh, they had this thing where it was like something about appreciating their people who's been paying on time, and they gave you back your deposit, and it covered my rent. But this is right when I began to start tithing. Cool. I was like, oh, this how this works? Like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. So it's just the little things, and it don't always come financially. Maybe somebody will bless you with something that you've been asking God for. But I'm so excited. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. Just remember to be thankful and joyful in all that you do, because when you're even thankful and joyful in the little things, like it just does something to your heart. You got to have a joyful heart. And there's so much, of course, things that's going around in the world right now that can make people upset and frustrated. But at the end of the day, we all have a purpose that God has blessed us with and gifted us with. He said our giftings is without repentance. So let's just make sure that we just continue to flow in the gifting of God and what he's given to us. And Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on. I really enjoyed this, and I hope all the listeners enjoyed it as well. How can people reach out to you? If they wanted to be able to reach out to you for more information or to know about Airbnb or the businesses and services that you provide, how can they reach you? What are some ways to reach you?
Okay, so you can reach me at my phone number, 850-980-4925. Or you can reach me on Instagram, which is just LIVE. The _2 and create. That's live _2 and create. I'm on there a lot, posting videos, educational stuff, inspirational stuff, all kinds of things. Also, what I do is I'm a financial planner. I help people with investments, life insurance, retirement. If you need disability, long-term care, I'm licensed in several states to actually help you with that too. So, I work with business owners, individuals, families, whoever. So yeah, I definitely want to help people as much as possible and give them advice and guidance.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with everyone as far as like how to be successful in the kingdom?
Yeah, don't be afraid to fail, right? Failure is a part of life. It's a lesson, right? I had to learn this first. And then I had to teach my kids this, because a lot of people, they're so scared to mess up, right?
Yeah.
If I could tell you one thing, is just to don't be afraid to fail, because fear is not of God, for one. Right. And fear will stop you from ever reaching your full potential. So if you're scared and you're fearful, guess what? You'll never make moves. You'll never do anything. It's funny, but that saying is real. Scared money don't make money, right? So if you want to get started, just get started.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get started, get started. Don't say, oh, I'm going to get started next year. Next year come and you're like, I'm not ready. I can't do it. Next year, next year come. Because it's going to always happen.
Yeah.
So you just got to do it. You know, sometimes you just got to try it, fall flat on your face, pick yourself up, start again, and just keep going.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to share?
No, that's it. Thank you. And, appreciate you having me. And
Absolutely.
please reach out.
All right. And y'all have a blessed day.